We're back with Peter Kay, one of Hawaii's most recognized technology visionaries and the voice behind the Your Computer Minute radio program.
You had a number of seats available.
Yeah, so it was 50 square feet. It would fit 2 6-foot tables and enough room inside for 3 chairs. Now and it was so tight that I was the guy furthest in, and when I had to get out to go to an appointment or to go to the bathroom, the 2 other guys had to get out of the office for me to get out of the office. That's a true story.
And then it grew to what size?
We grew to be we were the largest. We were the fastest 50 for 3 years. We grew to, we were the largest web developer by far. We had 25 full-time people at the peak, almost 30 full-time people at the peak.
Wow.
We did, I think, our biggest year, we did like 2.7 million in sales, I think, something like that. So we were cranking.
Yeah, that's spectacular.
Right, we were cranking.
So were you getting new customers while you're building the Outrigger site, or did you have to establish
Well, no one knew about
first?
what was going on. No one even knew what the internet was. But once it was the most phenomenal way to sort of enter into the market, because Outrigger was, huge. And boom, that was the break. And Outrigger was the most demonstrated all my competitors demonstrated Outrigger as a great idea for a website to get their own deals. But yeah, Outrigger started, and then they just snowballed.
That's amazing. We'll come back to that in the after show, because I know there's a lot of questions that we have for that.
Tons.
I wanted to talk more about the social aspect of what you're involved with, community-based organizations, and how you're doing the social entrepreneurship thing yourself.
Sure.
Can you explain that a little bit?
Sure. It's called Your Computer Minute. Think about it. Your Computer Minute. Have you ever heard me pitch anything ever on Your Computer Minute? Never. I've never pitched anything. But I'm the most I like to believe that I'm the most well-recognized technology guy in Hawaii. Why is that? Because everybody listens to Computer Minute. Why do people listen to Computer Minute? Because they all get something out of it. It's always educational. So that was one attempt at sort of, blending a social engineering or not social engineering, I guess, social, what do you call it? A community, what do you call it?
Social entrepreneurship.
Social entrepreneurship. That was my way of doing social entrepreneurship. I capitalized on the idea that everybody feels uncomfortable, not so much uncomfortable, but everybody knows that they're only using 10% of the computer that they paid for. And everybody would like to get little handy tips to help them feel more intelligent, more productive, and know how to use their computer better. So I capitalized on this sort of fear, if you will. People have this sort of fear that they don't quite know enough about, what's going on in the computer area, and so that's what Your Computer Minute was. It's always a tip. And what ends up, it has become and stayed, I think we're in our 9th year now of doing Your Computer Minute, and it's still as popular now as it always was. And so what we're doing with it is we're helping people. And by helping people, it's strengthening the brand. That was sort of one way that we did our social entrepreneurship.
Does it strengthen the Titan Key brand or the Your Computer Minute brand?
It strengthens the Peter Kay brand.
Okay.
It strengthens the Peter Kay brand. And the Peter Kay brand this is why sort of, we're sort of now Peter Kay is sort of this serial entrepreneur. First he did Cybercom. Now he's doing Titan Key. Hopefully Titan Key is going to have a really cool ending story to it. What's going to be next? How is this sort of evolving leader? What's this crazy guy doing next? Basically, is
the
what
Tom Podcast comes next.
TomPodcast.com, podcasting. Exactly. One string after the other. Serial entrepreneur.
So you have a different kind of viewpoint in terms of your spiritual integration with your family and your work and your personal goals. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Sure, absolutely. I think, I think it comes with getting older, right? you figure out what the hell's going on in your life. Oop, can I say on to you?
You're not even that old.
Everything's relative. Well, I'm 42. So everything's relative. I think Cybercom was a great lesson because we took it to, relatively speaking, to insane heights. Had a great company culture, and we also had the honor to see that a market was going away, which was high-end web development, which is what we did. And we saw the high-end web development market going away, and we saw it in enough time, and we were able to honorably get out of that business without having any casualties whatsoever. So that sort of, what that did is it sort of satisfied the one-time ego of being a CEO of a big successful company, Hawaiian style big. And so that satisfied the ego. So now the question is, well, why are you here? What do you really want to accomplish? If you believe in the fantasy for a moment that you can create anything that you put your mind to, if you believe in that for a moment, and I do, I believe that you can, clearly it's been shown that you can do anything you set your mind to. So now the question is, well, what do you really want to do? And then the question is, how much courage do you have to dream? How big do you have the courage to dream? And then once you decide how big you have the courage to dream, then do you have the courage to follow the dream? So that melts in with the idea of what does success mean really? What does it truly mean to be successful? Well, to me, what it means to be successful is to be respected by everyone, to be respected by your wife, to be respected by your children, to be respected by your coworkers, by your peers, by your vendors, by your customers. I don't believe success is financial only. There's a lot of people, and we all know of them, that are very financially successful, but they're just awful people to work with or deal with. That's not what I would consider. I would not want that kind of a success. So the idea is to find a success that's related more to the fulfillment, what they call self-realization, right? What am I here to be able to, what am I here for? What is the grand plan that I'm here to accomplish? And I think I put that together into actually a little prayer that comes on my screensaver.
Like a mantra.
It's a mantra. And my mantra is, give me the eyes to see the path that you have shown before me. So the idea is that we all have a path throughout life. And I will follow that path. I will follow it blindly, per se, without any expectation of where it's supposed to end. I will follow the path if I can see it. So that's why, hence, give me the eyes. Because if I have the eyes to see the path, I will follow it. Okay? So give me the eyes to see the path that you have shown before me. The path is there. So really what I've done with my life now is moved it from a part to, it's very akin to riding down a river and having the sense to know when your canoe is in the current of the river versus getting beached on the side. So life's path is like a current. And I've spent a lot of time the past at least 5 or 6 years of my life trying to be sensitive to the path. Am I on the path or am I off the path? And I've now developed a sensitivity. I know when I'm off the path. I know what it feels like to be off the path. And I know what it feels like to be on the path. And being on the path is really fun. Cybercom's great lesson was that, it was a lesson that my parents taught me, actually. The lesson was, you can be really successful if you completely work your butt off and kill yourself. You could do it. But I think the real issue was, I believed out of Cybercom was, I think you can be more successful and not have to work anywhere near as hard. There's a way to do that. And the way I believe is to do this is to be on the path. So it's all about being on the path.
So what does the path have for you next? What are you seeing?
There's a couple of things that the path has for me next. On strictly, well, are we talking about the business side? Or are we talking about the
your life? Huh? I mean, the path where if someone heard this part for Peter K's path,
good.
Maybe they say that inspires me for my own.
Ah, okay. Well, here's the way that the path is sort of showing itself before me. What's going to happen is Titan Key Software is going to give its investors a very, very good multiple on their investment. And we're going to take that money from Titan Key, and I see myself becoming a different kind of angel venture capital investor in Hawaii. So instead of just being sort of an angel venture capitalist that just kind of gives money and then expects a return, I see myself sort of getting involved in a very intimate level with the company. So I can see, for example, hanging out at seeing all the bright minds over there, using the 20-plus years of entrepreneuring that I have, probably functioning as a board chairman, if you will, but getting quite involved with the kids and not only helping them financially to get the company funded, but helping it succeed. And I could see leverage. You talked about leverage in one of your things. So it's really all about leverage. So what I'd want to be able to do is to, start a collection of properties, not real estate properties, but business properties, and funding them and nurturing them and growing them and basically training the next generation of entrepreneurs, and hopefully be able to embed in them a sense of it goes beyond the shores. It's not just, it's a global world, and we really need to think globally, and we don't think globally anywhere near enough in Hawaii as we should. We think more island-wise, and it's a great thing to think island-wise, but we need to think globally. So that's what I would do. That's where the path is going.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay tuned for more on Greater Good Radio.